Hello everyone, we're here in Two Cats video production to talk about the politics without censorship and what's real we need to talk because the social platforms do some censorship and they don't want us to know what they really do in the political. Guys, here are the guest in our studio, and we know this guy perfectly. Welcome to our show, and I just want you to just remind you this is Vito LaBella. He is now running for the New York Council District 43, and all additional information you guys want to know about Vito, you can just take your smartphone and screen the QR code and go directly to his page where can you subscribe and know everything about like donate him and know what's the his politician what's the biography and career and everything is on that site. We can go just make this QR code to following Vito. Vito, this is a second time you're running um, for the politicians. And what's happened first time? Tell us why you did not why you did not achieve the goal.
I had 500 fewer votes than my opponent. That's why I didn't achieve the goal. But that's okay. We were outnumbered 8-1, Republican, Democrat. I did very well, especially in Chinese communities, with communities that I've been working with since my kids started school in 2008. So listen, we fell a little short, but what put them over the edge was the working family parties, the progressive liberals, and that part of Kensington, which wouldn't even talk to me. I made every effort to reach out to people in the Kensington community. And, I would say, hi, my name is Vito, I'm running, and I would get the hand. I would get the hand. They wouldn't even talk to me, right? And I'm an actor, so I can't stand rejection. So I mean, the thing is, why not ask me? I would ask them, well, what do you think? Why are you afraid of me? What do you think I'm going to do? What are you worried about? Why can't you talk to me? And they would just throw up their hands and walk away.
So that we see just you're not the guy who is give up and say, okay, this is not my cup of tea, and so if I'm not, achieve the waters, I just decided to do something else. But tell us one more time, you are the former police officer, and why you decided to run for the 43rd district?
So there's two separate questions, right? So I was a cop for 32 and a half years. I was a lieutenant for most of that. Retired in 2017 to work in the schools. Got to go deep into the Department of Education and all of their dysfunction, and they're very, very dysfunctional. The Department of Education is horribly run. It's not accountable. They do what they want. They throw up obstruction at every turn. There's obstruction. They pretend to listen to the parents, but they try to wait us out until another group of parents can come in, or until the political climate changes. It's bureaucracy at its worst. So I've been fighting that, and I'm still fighting that. I just finished up my second term on the Community Education Council. I did 4 years there, and look, I felt that I was yelling, I was making arguments, we were doing resolutions, but I didn't feel like I was getting enough traction. So that's why I ran a year ago, and that's why I'm running this year, because it's different. Community education activist Vito is making videos or making statements, and if Senator Vito LaBella is making a statement, or City Council member Vito LaBella, no matter what, Republicans are going to be a very small minority. But we could grow together, we could work as a unit, and we could get our voices heard. And by doing that, we could raise awareness for all of these issues.
The whole situation with the police is like a heart. It's hurting our hearts because when we see what's going on in New York, we today have a news from Minneapolis when the Mary Garland, finished his report, and so that's really what is frustrated us. What do you want? First of all, what do you think about the situation in Minneapolis and Mary Garland report? And second, what do you think is we need to do with the police in New York? because Democrats, they won't define the police, they won't destroy the old systems, they won't destroy our safety. And even the people who live in New York, they're afraid to go outside because they don't and protect themselves. And what is going on in police make police officers unfortunately change their job and do something else because they're afraid for themselves and for the families.
So look, so this goes back to even the George Floyd incident. What happened to George Floyd was a horrific thing. I don't know any police officers who support Derek Chauvin. There none. What he did was straight up wrong. The Minneapolis Police Department might have certain problems, but that had nothing to do with the New York City Police Department 2 years ago, 3 years ago when George Floyd happened, and it has nothing to do with the New York City Police Department today. The policing that we do here, there are so many safeguards, so many checks and balances. We want to we want to go after criminals. Criminals. We don't want to marginalize anybody except people who are trying to hurt other people. Those people we need to marginalize. Those people we need to put them through the system. We need to arrest them, prosecute them, and remove them from society until we know that they're not a danger to us anymore. I don't know if it's you or me, but I lost you. No, here.
Sorry, I was muted. I was trying to tell him that so many dangerous area in New York too, and the people who make a small business or middle business, they are afraid actually from the criminal situation. I know, and this is the just why your name is the second of the Chinese mentioned. A lot of Chinese people have a small businesses in the area. How do you think you're going to support not only Chinese people but the people who lives in the district and 43rd district? How support the business in the area? Because in the San Francisco, for example, even huge businesses left California because of the laws, because of the Gavin Newsom laws. That anyone can stole for even for $1,000, and it's not just something bad what the people do.
If you go in every day and steal $600, $700 every day, you know what? That's not a little money. That's not a misdemeanor. That's a lot of money, and that's what's putting people out of business. Um, Here's the thing. So recently, Eric Adams suggested we're going to put social service kiosks in retails, right? So you go in to steal something, and you'll see this beautiful machine that you can go. Oh yes, I'm hungry. I need this. Oh, I need shelter. You check this button. I need sneakers. You check this button. Whatever. God bless you. Go use it. Do it. Try it. Have violence interrupters wherever you need to. Have de-escalation techniques for the security guards. These are all things that he wants to do. That's fine. You want to try all of that, try it. And if it works for a few people, that's fabulous. That's a win. But for those individuals who have no need or no desire to tap a button on a kiosk or want to punch a security guard in the face, those people, after they've been offered all of these services and all of these opportunities, those people need to be arrested. They need to be arrested, and the district attorneys need to do their job and not pretend that they're legal aid lawyers, and they need to prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. And that's what I will fight for. I will get my voice with other common sense council members, and together we will tell whoever is the district attorney at the time, will tell them that no, we want full enforcement in our areas. If you have to do it by zip code, if other areas of the city don't want it, if other areas of Brooklyn don't want it, fine. But in our areas, we want full enforcement.
Let's talk about a little bit about Eric Adams. You mentioned he is also former officer. How he's doing in New York, in your opinion? What's good, what's bad about his politicians? I know it's a lot of people just thinking differently about what he's doing right now.
Look, Curtis Lewa endorsed me. I voted for. I'm a Republican. Curtis is a Republican. I voted for him as a Republican. If he runs again, I'll vote for him again. But Eric Adams is the best Democrat that was running. We could have had Maya Wiley, in which case we would have been San Francisco by now. So I understand that he's a Democrat and he's got a very large or vocal, I should say, progressive base that he has to walk a fine line. So he's not Curtis. Curtis would have done things different. Curtis would have yelled more. Curtis would have tried to push forward more law and order type regulations and laws. But he's doing the best he can with what he has.
I want to ask you also about immigration politics, what's going on with the immigration. The Republican states try to show the Biden administration something wrong with immigration. You cannot send to the different states people if you just try to think it's nothing to do on the south border. Okay, we're gonna send all illegal person which has sometimes the criminal stories to the states like Chicago and New York. So New York recently faced with the problem where some schools has to provide some territory to the illegals while the parents cannot cross to the school buildings. They are allowed to leave illegal immigrants in the school right across of the students. What is your opinion in this case, and how to be in New York, for example, in this situation?
This is an untenable situation. You know, the border should be closed. The border should be closed. We have first of all, the most of the people that are coming as migrants. They're not technically illegal aliens, which is even worse. They're being allowed in here. That President Trump had the right idea. He said, if you come from any other country but Mexico and you're claiming asylum, well, the law says you claim asylum in the first country that you leave that's not your own. They should be claiming asylum in Mexico. These people that are coming from Europe or further in Central America, they shouldn't be coming all the way here to the United States border and declaring themselves asking for asylum here. They've marched through 20 countries. Any one of those you could have declared asylum in those countries. So it's really a bogus claim, but it's Joe Biden's fault and the Democrats' fault for allowing it. Again, these migrants are here. These people, these are human beings, and now they're here. So it's an untenable situation because we have our own. We have our own homeless. We have homeless veterans. We have people that are severely mentally ill that need help. We have all of these needs, and then the federal government is doubling and tripling the amount of resources that we need without coming across with any money.
So, but even Eric Adams stated a couple of weeks ago that the Biden administration doesn't pay to the state like money to support state, and this is like not really good working the all immigrants. It's heavy for the all departments of the state. It's heavy for all people who live in the state. It makes more like things what the all state have to do, because it's not really right if even Biden administration doesn't support state which money with money. And in this case, I think in the Democrats, they just simple line. They have some benefits from everyone stating we are welcomes for the immigrants, but they actually do nothing and they not support the state, and these actions and seriously destroy the state itself. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's so easy to say, oh yeah, everyone, we welcome everybody, but when you don't have the infrastructure to take care of everybody, that's a problem. But look, I don't have a solution to this. Who does? We have a whole bunch of these people here. We do not have the facilities or the infrastructure in place to take care of all of these people. So we're trying. Eric Adams said, "Oh, please tell me what we should do." I can understand his frustration because you ask everybody, and no one really has an answer. Certainly, schools are not the answer. Schools are not shelters. You can't put them in schools. Do we want to have tent cities in our parks? No, of course not. The people of New York deserve to have their quality of life, no matter what that is, to have it protected. And as a council member, that's what I would do. I would protect everyone's quality of life. But as these problems are coming, we have to figure out, we have to figure out ways to solve them because we're not getting any help.
So that maybe the New York, it's a multi-nations state. A lot of immigrants live here. I mean, the all United States. It's about immigrants. But when it goes naturally, step by step, and community helps to people to arrive, it's a different
Yes.
situation. But it is a lot of people comes in a short period of time. It's getting to destroy everything, even the community who already live and working, and also we don't have enough work for these people, and
Yes.
this temporary like a providing hotels, the pretty much expensive hotels for living. This is not a solution for this.
No, they're paying $300 a night and they're booking it for 30 nights. If you're going to book a hotel, fill it up for 30 nights. I think you should get a better rate than $300 a night, right? You should get a you should get a wholesale rate, maybe. Okay, they're not even a good keeper, a good fiduciary of the people's money. They can't even figure that out.
So I have a question from our viewer Slana Medna. She's asking, good afternoon, hi Vita. How many Republicans, Independents, and Democrats live in 43rd district?
So I would have to go online to figure that out exactly. But let me tell you, we have about 9,000 registered Republicans. We probably have 17,000 independents, and I'm guessing this is ballpark like 54,000 registered Democrats. And I can while we're talking, I can go to my information and see if we could get that exactly. But I really would like to talk about the whole South Brooklyn redistricting because that's really a story in and of itself that's very interesting.
Yes, and the new like a map for the Democrats and Republicans divide for the some different ways. Um,
I do
mm,
have that information here. Let's
uh-huh.
see. So in District 43, we have 34,000 Democrats, 9,200 Republicans, independents are 21,000. Uh, And then we have a handful of other ones: 300 conservative, 1,000 independent, working family 164, and other parties 292.
So good chance to win, right?
Well, Curtis Sliwa did really well in this district. I did really well in this district. I lost because of Kensington area. That's where I lost all my votes. So I think I have a good shot. That's why I was asked to do this by Assemblymember Lester Chang. When the other guy dropped out, he asked me to do this. That's why I'm the endorsed candidate from the Brooklyn GOP, the Brooklyn Conservative Party. I have other endorsements. Nicole endorsed me, Curtis Sliwa. Asian Wave Alliance endorsed me, as well as Place New York City. So listen, they know my work going back as a cop. They know my work going back as an education advocate, a CEC member, PTA president. So it's not like I'm an unknown person.
So, but used to be in New York, there is not possible for Republicans to get some, politicians,
Yeah.
voters, because it's a very, very hard thing. And I actually, I have no idea why New York voted for the Democrats. So why it's happening? uh, because the people, sometimes I think the people blind because they don't see what's going on around, or maybe not traveling to different state and have no idea how the people live in the Republican state, for example. But much better, there is less criminal, there is more opportunity for business,
More
and some states doesn't even pay a lot of taxes, like a Florida. There is no state taxes, but in New York everything is expensive, and the criminal is higher right now. And I don't know why why people keep voting for the Democrats.
Well, people are starting to wake up. This Saturday, I'm going to a Blexit Live event. That's Blexit is Candace Owens. She's the famous one who started it. That's in Brooklyn. They got a lot of blowback, so much that the original venue chickened out and wouldn't let them hold it. But they have another venue. I'm going to go there, and I'm doing outreach. I'm doing my part to do outreach to the Black community. I'm doing my part. We have 15% Hispanics in the new 43rd district. I'm going to, and I started this in my Senate campaign. We make sure that we reach out to that community. I just want to say that the people who redistricted this, they took all of the most conservative parts of South Brooklyn
Mhm.
and they broke it up, not to give Asians a voice, but to disenfranchise Republican leaning voters. They took a big chunk of the Fort Hamilton Army Base and the surrounding areas. They gave it to Staten Island. David Carr is a great council member. He doesn't even have opposition. Not just he doesn't just not have opposition in the primary. He doesn't even have opposition in the general. He's a great guy. South Brooklyn will be really lucky to have him. But those voices, those votes, could have gone to a Republican candidate in Brooklyn. They took another large chunk, Diker Heights, solid red, and they gave it to Alexa Aviles in Sunset Park and Red Hook and part of Park Slope. And that way they could disenfranchise all of those Republican leaning voters because the Democrats and the far left blue Democrats, who won't even consider a Republican candidate, will certainly outweigh all of our Republican voters. And then they had this little tiny, I call it a Brannon Aviles Mander, because they have Bay Ridge and then a one block connector, right, to go to Coney Island. So you have this big chunk of Coney Island, a little bit of Brighton, Seagate, Bay Ridge, and this one block, 2 block connector across 81st Street. All right, and that was only because Brannon didn't have the guts to face Aviles if they put Sunset Park and Bay Ridge together, and so he threw Ari Kagan under the bus. And I don't blame Ari for switching over to Republican. And
So that's because Democrat need to do something with Brooklyn and Staten Island, which is already completely red. So they decided to share the district between, a little between on the, and do something for the
and they
Democratic
said
self.
they said, "Oh, it's because we want an Asian majority district." Let me tell you, they could have kept Diker Heights, Bensonhurst, and Bath Beach as a whole neighborhood without breaking it up, and it may not have been 54% Asian, but it would have been close to 40-45% Asian. And people have more in common with each other based on where they live, not with how they look or where their parents came from or where they came from, right? So it's just total. I don't believe in gerrymandering districts by identity, racially. It's wrong. And then Brannon has the gall to say, "I have no right to run in that district because I'm not Asian." That's not what this country's about. That's not what this country's about.
Absolutely right. So we have a couple questions to you. Tatiana Tarantino, back to the probably immigration. She asked you, do we have a chance to beat down a demo, at least Democrats, at least to set up our police and remove illegal from the New York?
Well, we're not allowed. They're more and more. They passed all of these laws saying that uh, no entity of government, right, the city state level, can cooperate with immigration, right? This is a sanctuary city. So that means we have someone that was arrested for robbery, arrested for murder, arrested for whatever, and we're not allowed to check his immigration status. We're not allowed to see if he's here illegally. Why not? Why not say, look, we're not in the immigration business. It's a national issue. We don't want to penalize someone for a minor crime. But why don't we say that individuals who are arrested for violent crimes, who are arrested serially again and again and again and again, why don't we say that those people, if they are not here lawfully, maybe we give those people to immigration and to the federal government and let the federal government deport those people, right? Because they are not the kind of Americans that we want here, right? And why should we keep them here if they're victimizing their neighbors? There's no reason, and that doesn't victimize all the people that are here trying to work.
That's because politicians never thinking about regular people. They live in other country. That's the reason why. That's probably why Biden doesn't have a campaign. I mean, the real campaign. he don't care about. He just stated that he gonna run for the presidential. But why do you think he not just running for the like a normal campaign like everybody do who wants to win?
He's going to do as little as possible. He's just going to go about his business and not say a word and hope what worked last time works this time.
Yeah. Okay, we have some more questions to you. And so, who can sell bell perform? Lana Medna asking you, and she also asking you about the rhinos in Republican Party. With the person Ari was the remind to be Democrats. Another rhino, Kagan. Kagan is a very famous person in the area. What do you think about that topic?
So I am the endorsed candidate for the Republican Party, which means I have an obligation. The Republican Party in Brooklyn has agreed to stay neutral. Um, we need to give, we need to be a safe haven for all disaffected moderate Democrats and for all independents to come to the party. So I'm not going to say no, we don't want you. Hey, we want moderate Democrats who feel that the party no longer speaks to them. We want them to register as Republicans. Okay, we want independents. If you're independent and you're out there, we're asking you get off the fence, come register as a Republican, so that way you have a say in who's running in your party. That way you can vote in a primary. And we need to grow the Republican Party and reaching out to disaffected Democrats and independents. That's the way to do it. I'm going to do the Blexit thing on Saturday because I want to do my part to reach out to all the different ethnic communities. Uh, we all have to work a little harder to bring people over to the Republican Party so there's more of a balance.
I understand that the Republicans Party needs more and more members. And do you, like a Republican representative, have pay attention to the past of the person who can come to the Republicans Party? For example, I understand some more information come. The more information you got, you can change your mind. And also, like Elon Musk say, this is like a political situation move. We're all on the same position, but if the political itself comes to the radical left, we maybe just looks like we are started to be Republicans, but we are centrist. So, if the new member comes to Republicans, do you need to pay attention what he did in the past? I mean, as in my understanding, Ari Kagan, he stated he is against, he just supported define the police and something like this. Can this person be really truly honest with us when he is attended to the to Republicans, or this is like a populism and this is like a see the situation. People sick and tired of the Democratic politicians right now and ready to vote for the Republicans. And this is that time when Democrats can change their mind temporary to just to get voters, and that's it.
So that I'm sure he's hearing a lot of that. He's got to make his case to the Republican primary voter. And the Republican primary voter is going to make that decision. I know the other two candidates, Avi Piera, Anna Belfiore Del Faus, Ari Kagan, those are the three candidates. I want to be fair to everyone. Um, Listen, they're all any one of them is better than Brannon. I'll tell you that right now. That's my pitch. Any one of those three is better than Justin Brannon. So I don't know. I understand what people are saying. There shouldn't be. Here's what I know. I know people are saying that I'm not Republican enough. They're saying I'm a rhino. I'm this. We shouldn't have a purity test for our candidates, right? Look, do we agree with everything with our loved ones, with our spouse, with our parents, with our kids, with our friends? Do we agree on every single point? Of course we don't. So why do we think that we have to agree on every single thing with our political representatives? We just look and we do a balance. We do okay. So I like him on this, this, and this. I disagree with him a little on that. Oh, these I don't really like that at all. But when I look at the whole thing, this one is better than that one. And I think that's what we need to do, and we need to be fair to everybody when we do it.
Yes, unfortunately, the political situation, we also voted for the less evil.
Yeah, there we go. I'm the less evil candidate in District 43. Pick me.
Yes, we are ready to. But tell us what you're gonna do in the very first, when you win. If you win, what you're gonna do? What you start with?
So we start by joining the Common Sense Caucus of individuals. Right now, it's all of the Republicans, Robert Holden, Common Yeager, great people, all of them. And we start, however many of us there are, try to grow that, and then we get a plan of action. I would like to make South Brooklyn, I would like to flip all of South Brooklyn. I would like Paul Rodriguez in 38, whoever is going to go against Brannon, me in 43, and then along with Common Yeager and the other Republican and Common Sense Caucus members, get together with a plan of action of what we want to do for the not only people of South Brooklyn, but for other areas of Brooklyn that have been marginalized by the far left progressive city council.
So we have another question from our viewer Slana Medna. What do you think about Congressman Molinaro and Lawler? What the word in support of Schiff? And all Republicans, by the way, who supported this Adam Schiff lies, who this is a news topic. So.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I've been running around all day. I am not familiar with what you're talking about.
Yeah, because we have some interesting. Yes, I show you 1 second. This is very
This is
interesting
breaking
topic.
news. Uh-oh.
No, this is not like a breaking news, but in the internet we got some list of the Republicans
Okay.
who supported Adam Schiff. Oh, it's here.
Adam
Uh,
Schiff doing what? He's the California guy. He's the
yes.
California congressman
Doing the Trump
through the
censored. Yes.
so the impeachment.
Impeachment, yes. And now we know that Adam Schiff is lying to everyone.
Yes.
And so, what about this? Uh, yes, it's here that all supporters with the telephone numbers on the
Nice.
screen. Yes,
Am I on
this
there?
is the good thing because we look into the past, and we can we can make our decision based on the what the people did already.
So look, I think it's coming out more and more that Donald Trump was horribly treated, unconstitutionally treated. The legacy media, along with our government, conspired with each other to try to stain him, and it hobbled him in the first 2 years with this nonsense Russian thing, right? And then as soon as that's over, they looked for nonsense excuses to do these two impeachments. And then now we see these prosecutions. And these prosecutions, especially the one in Manhattan, and even this one, the latest one with the documents, you have people with documents all over the place, and they're going after him because he had a dispute with the departments. Listen, they didn't prosecute Hillary. It is relevant. It is relevant. It's called selective prosecution. It's called selective prosecution. The district attorney, whether it's on the local level or the national level, they have broad jurisdiction to decide if they're going to prosecute somebody based upon the totality of the circumstances. You know what the circumstances are here? The circumstances are that he's running for office again, and they can't stand him. They hate him so much. They will use every means to destroy him. And even someone who doesn't always like the way Trump speaks, and I don't speak that way as a politician, so I don't I don't like sometimes the way he speaks. I'll tell you, I know a lot of his fans are here, but even someone who doesn't like that can see that he is being railroaded, and they're using he someone we have to stand up because if they're using all their political power and all of the levers of government to go after him because he's running, that's just not right. And that would make me more inclined to support him, not less.
That's what Democratic do. They use all Department of Justice like a tools on FBI, for example,
Yeah.
or justice, and this is not really like a what we have to be honored about the US right now. And also, Donald Trump, he was not a spy. He is just, he was the president. And I
Yeah.
think, yes, this is not like these things what they have to be the prosecuted. So, and then Miami, the last time, the another one, yeah, and so it's going to be like a stop to him from the campaign, to not giving him enough time to make a great campaign, and
It's a distraction, right? So it's something he has in the back of his head that he
it's
has
not
to work.
about only him.
Yeah,
That's about all Republicans. That's
yeah.
why I want to ask you: do you afraid of the things what's good, what can be in the all Republicans, especially in the Democratic states like New York and California?
Well, look, they've already used their machine to come after me, right? So I was on the cover of the Daily News, go Vito, because I had a silly video last year where I was working in my garden, I'm having my wine, and it's like, you know how you're on vacation and it's time to go home, and you sit back and you say, I wish I didn't have to leave. So I have a video like that where I say I effing hate Brooklyn. I wish I never had to go back, and that made the cover of the New York Daily News, because the Daily News is in bed with the Democrats, and they feed each other information. They put this bogus story out, and they did it to Anna Belfiore Del Faust as well. A nonsense issue that she lives in Staten Island. Well, she lives in Staten Island. Who cares where she lives? My opponents all live in Queens. Okay, it doesn't matter where you live. It's a redistricting year. The fact that she's got an apartment here that she's going back and forth to, that's good for her. She's already here. She doesn't have to move. She's already got a place where she can go to if she wins. So that was a nonsense article, but the Democrats work with the Daily News in particular, and then the Daily News puts a story out, and then the Democrats go and they do a flyer or a mailer and say, look at the Daily News uncovered this horrible story. So it's all being done in New York City. The good news is, if that's the worst they got on me, you know what? Come on, give it to me, because I'm not afraid of you.
And we really appreciate you. And also, Vita, it's the good thing is the Republican can have the conservative TV stations, radio stations, some magazines who can share the Republican opinion, because then the social media there is a harder and harder to sharing what really think, because of the censorship. Thanks to Elon Musk, they buy Twitter. He spent a lot of money to just show us what the censorship is a huge evil in United States, and we all who comes like an immigrant from the like a China and Russia, we know what it's about. It's just started, and after that, it's gonna be worse and worse.
Yeah, listen, and thank you for doing this. I know you've had some unfortunate problems. I hope to support you any way I can. I really appreciate your work.
And we want to know how can our viewers can help you. Just tell us, is some volunteers needed? What is your next meeting in Brooklyn? And tell us how to support your campaign also.
If you go to Vito LaBella for NewYork.com, you'll see a Vito LaBella. I haven't clicked on that. Hopefully, that's my website. You go there, and there's a place you could click for volunteer. There's a place you could click to donate. Whatever you can do. Right now, we're going door to door to all the Republicans, and we're handing out literature. We're going to meet. We're going to greet our voters. Yep, that's it right there. If you want to volunteer, you want to donate, whatever you want to do. Thank you. And yeah, but I think I want to leave with this. If we have to wrap up, you know, when my wife and I became involved with the schools, we saw there was a kind of a cliquish environment, right? And so what we did is we made sure we opened it up, and we opened it up to all members of the community. That website is going to be updated like as we speak. I'm just waiting for the final sign off. Um, it's very important to remember that we have 54% Asian in this district, but it's not just an Asian district. And Asians have been deaggregated. So there's a whole bunch of different individual subcultures that belong there, like Pakistani and Indian, and you know all of the different groups that make up the Asian category. But we also have Hispanic in there. We have a very large Russian population, and you know I'm not going to forget any of these different communities. And I have a history as a police department. The police department's been doing that as forever, right? We make sure that we reach out to everybody. We have all of these social clubs. We have the Asian Jade and the Columbia Society and the Hispanic Society and the German Society and the Russian Society. We have all of these things. So I'm well familiar with how this works. And I'm not going to forget anybody. I'm not going to forget about it. I know that there's a lot of Russian speaking individuals in our district, and I'm going to reach out to you. I hope to have my website actually in many languages, not just Chinese and Spanish, but Russian and Arabic and whatever home languages that we have in our district. And I'm going to make sure that I reach out to all of the different groups in the District 43 community, and I'll make sure I listen to their concerns and elevate their individual cultures, because I think that's so important.
But the good thing, if you guys started anyway read in English, even if you comes from, because it's so difficult, that so difficult if you still keep in our conversation in our mother language. For example, here in Florida, it's another problem because people don't want to speak English; they speak Spanish, and that not even want to speak. They just forced to the even government departments speak in Spanish. But what if everyone can start speaking on language, for example, French, Italian, Mandarin, Russian, or something? It is going to be disaster. We
So
cannot select one certain category of the people who lives here. Just we here in the United States, please speak English.
thank you. You know what? That's what my father used to say. Right? That's old school. You always just say that. But we're only one technological innovation away. We're all going to have little devices in our pocket. We'll have a little thing in our ear. You'll talk to me in Russian. I'll hear you in English. I'll talk to you in English, and you'll hear me in Russian. Right? We're very close. Elon Musk has got to get on it, and then we don't have to worry about that. We'll all be able to talk to each other.
That's absolutely right. So don't forget Russian and Jewish communities. We need your
Yes.
support. Yeah. What about Jewish community who lives? It's a very big population in
Yes, it
Brooklyn.
is. So I was on your competitor. I don't really think they're really a competitor. I was on the radio last night, Sawyer's World. So we talked about the needs of the Jewish community, which are very aligned. Look, all of the different communities have the same fears, right? It's they want to be safe. When I go back to hateful rhetoric leads to hate speech, and hate speech leads to hate crime. So when someone's talking about the Jews or the Muslims or even the gay community, this is how we have. They talk and talk and talk, and then all of a sudden, somebody who hears voices on a good day, all of a sudden now those voices become malignant, become dangerous, and they go and they do a fire extinguisher against a poor Jewish man, or they take the hijab off a Muslim woman, or they push a Chinese girl in front of a train, or they beat a gay man with a baseball bat because they think it's funny. All right. So we have to stand up against all forms of hate speech, no matter who it's against. And I was disgusted by what happened at CUNY Law School. I was disappointed that Ina tried to get a resolution, an anti-hate resolution, and she had difficulty doing it. I couldn't stand the way that the city council members were mocking other people. It's just not right. We have to stand up against it, no matter who it is. And the Jewish community and the Asian community and all of these communities are at the forefront because they're being victimized the most.
That's very true. And I know that you know how to do this. So, and I also, guys, tell everyone, please go and vote for Vito LaBella, your Council District 43, and please register ahead of time. Because it's a procedure, you cannot go only on this and comes and show up and say, "Okay, I want to vote." No,
Early
you
voting starts tomorrow, 9 to 5, all week, the next Saturday and Sunday, and primary day is June 27th. Please, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on June 27th. Vote.New York City. Find your voting site. Please, I need your help. I want to win this primary and go on to win the general. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, and we wish you good luck. And also the last, wish Alice Williams good luck, Mr. Labella. One more voice on your side. And Tatiana Tarantina, she's also wrote, "Thanks, Mr. Vito, for your job and efforts to improve our New York." And so many people support you. Thank you so much. Good luck this time, Vito Bella. We need more Republicans and city council. And I want to thank you for your service, Vito. And I'm really sure that you know how to change the situation in district, and not only district, but in entire New York, because district by districts, we can, like a neighbor, see like the districts doing, and it's going to be great in not only in New York, but in an entire state and an entire country. I think we can work up everybody, and we should go and vote, and only we can change the situation around us. Thank you so much to being
Thank you,
with
my
us.
friend.
And thank you everybody who was in this during this broadcast with us. Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Ваша финансовая помощь нам необходима, чтобы компенсировать затраты на производство политических эфиров, инфоленты и авторских проектов. Поддерживая информационный ресурс без пропаганды и цензуры, вы боретесь с засильем политиков, лишающих нас свободы слова и превращающих наше общество в безмолвных рабов. Используйте PayPal, Зеле, Кофе, а также суперчат Rumble и Twitter.